Welcome back. In this video, we are going to go over how to join and smooth your double pinch pot. Go ahead and pull out your double pinch pot, and you're going to want to grab some newspaper. We're adding the newspaper in to give some structure to our pot so we don't accidentally crush it in. If you don't have newspaper, that's okay. Just grab a couple of sheets of paper and crumple them up. Next, you're going to need your serrated knife. We're going to take that knife and I want you to scrape along the edges. You could also use your paper clip or your toothpick if you have one to create score marks on both sides of your pinch pot. But sometimes when you have more of a surface you need to score, I like to use that serrated edge. It just goes a little bit quicker. Make sure you rough up the lip of both pots really well before we move on to the next step. Next, grab your slip, and I want you to put slip on both sides of your pinch pot. Not too much where it squishes out everywhere, but not too thin where it's barely there. Now that you have newspaper in both halves, have scored and slipped them both, it's time to match them up and put them together. Start by just joining one edge together at a time and just slowly press them so that every part of the lip touches the other pot, and kind of squish the seam together with your thumb just a little bit. After that, get your knife and we're going to do what we call Frankenstein. We're going to cut at an angle all the way around the pinch pots. We're not going through them, but probably about a quarter of an inch all the way. You'll go around the circumference of the pinch pot and then you'll cross it over the other way, making those X-like stitch marks. You'll want to hold it in your hand while you'll do this, but I was taking a picture at the same time. Hold it in one hand and use your other hand when you use your thumb and your forefinger, and you're just going to kind of push the clay back and forth, and you're really mixing up those clay particles again to join them together to make one large piece. So go ahead and do that all the way around the entire pinch pot to make it nice and smooth so that seam disappears. It's going to take a few minutes to accomplish that task. Don't worry about the little cracks on the surface. We're going to address those very soon. Now that your pinch pot is together, we're going to start to do the finishing work. You have a few materials that you need to grab. One of them would be a paddle. We have these flat paddles at school, but you could use the back of a wooden spoon just fine or something similar. You're also going to need your butter knife with that serrated edge and the white plastic card. Place your ball in one hand, and you actually want to put it at eye level so that you can start to see where the hills and valleys are. You're going to use the back of your wooden spoon or paddle, close one eye and just kind of look around, and you want to make it as round as possible. So you just kind of hit the side, move it a little bit, hit and try to round out all of those edges and get any of those hills flattened down a little bit. Use the serrated edge of your knife included in your packet or one that you have at home to go through and rough up the entire surface of your sphere. You want to get the top, the bottom, the sides, and kind of cross it over, moving that clay around as you do that. After the whole surface has been roughed up with that serrated edge, go ahead and take your flat plastic card and start to smooth down your entire piece. This will help compress the clay and make it look smoother while filling in some of those valleys. Then go over it with your thumb and just push down those kind of minor imperfections that came up with the extra clay when you were smoothing it down. Repeat those four steps for a total of 5 times. It's a little bit extra and you might need to go more than 5 times to make it nice and refined. We're going for craftsmanship. We're looking at our effort, and I'm going to look and see your eye and see if you can see if something is wrong and if you can start to fix it. Each time that you do it, the ball will come a little bit more round, a little bit smoother, have fewer valleys and hills to it, until about the 5th time when it should be nice and precise. If you need to do a few more, take that initiative upon yourself to see if there's anything that needs to happen. Just remember, craftsmanship is a big deal right now. This is worth 100 points, and I want to see if you can see if there is something wrong and if you can fix it from this point.